Good evening. I am Bishal Pandey, Associate Dean of the Marion campus here at Ohio State University, and it is my pleasure to welcome you today on behalf of Dr. Rose, Dean and Director of the Ohio State University at Marion, who sends his regret at not being able to be here for this campus celebration. Welcome to this 52nd Annual Academic Recognition Program for the Ohio State University at Marion. This is the premier event of this year, completing the 65th year of the Ohio State offering courses in Marion and the 54th year on this beautiful campus. Two other programs, along with this evening event, conclude the 2022-2023 academic year. One of them is a Student Research Colloquium, which was held on the first floor of the Learning Center in the library building last Thursday, recognizing a wide range of impressive student research projects. And the second one is a recognition event that was held this afternoon, celebrating students on this campus who have graduated recently or are graduating this spring. Before we jump into the program, a few items of housekeeping. First, for everyone's enjoyment this evening, please silence your cell phone. I also have a few recognitions to make. Members of the Ohio State University at Marion's Advisory Board help guide the campus and show their support for Ohio State Marion in many ways. Also, as you will hear, a number of this evening's awards have donors' name associated with them. Some of those donors, family members, or representatives are with us this evening. Please join me in a round of applause in appreciation of these campus friends. I also appreciate Amy Erickson, Shelley Shirk, John Mahari, and many other staff and faculty members who have put in many hours of work considering the accomplishments of students nominated for honors, reviewing class essays and creative works submitted for awards, and organizing and preparing for this evening's program. And I want to recognize the faculty and staff of the Ohio State University at Marion who are here this evening. While some will be presenting awards, all are here to help honor our students' accomplishments. Our faculty and staff provide the very best university education possible through their roles as teachers, as advisors, and as helpers in all the complex activities needed to make a university function. May I request our colleagues, faculty, and staff to please rise and be recognized. Thank you. And of course, a special appreciation to the family members and friends here this evening to celebrate and support the academic achievements of yours and our students. Only 6 campuses of the Ohio State University are found worldwide, and one of them is right here. Our mission is to bring top-flight higher education to this area with Ohio State faculty, Ohio State staff, and Ohio State students. From 1957 to today and into the future, Ohio State Marion benefits from the tremendous support of this community and from the achievements of our students as we grow and improve and bring more university education opportunity to this region. Now let us turn to the reasons why we are here this evening, our students. We recognize and honor them with awards for superior academic achievements. The academic achievement of the students are recognized in many ways. When our colleagues, faculty members, they write on your research, on your papers that you have wonderful piece of writing, you are doing excellent, this is a superb piece of work, that is one form of recognition that you receive on your papers, in your classroom, every semester when you write. And when students review their progress with our academic advisors, that's another way that we recognize your work. Or when they receive a letter from the campus that you are part of the dean's list. But tonight's program recognizes our students' achievements and accomplishments publicly in the presence of their family and friends. To get us underway, it is my pleasure to introduce and turn the program over to Professor John Mahari, who is an assistant dean, leads various projects on this campus. He has graciously agreed to MC the program. John.
Good evening. Thank you very much. Good evening to the deans, the trustees who are here tonight, the faculty, and the staff. And a good evening to the students whom we are honoring tonight, as well as your families and support. The students, you students, are the reason for this celebration that we have every year. So, welcome to the 54th Annual Academic Recognition Program. This is an evening where we publicly recognize the students for their commitment to education and the hard work, and to celebrate their academic achievements. And it's one of my favorite nights of the year on campus. It's something we look forward to as faculty, where we get to celebrate our students and see how much they've progressed and how fantastic they've been doing. So to the students, well, we made it. Another year over. Well, almost. Just one more week or so. For many of you, all that you have left is a handful of classes, 2 exams, 3 papers, that research report, 4 homework sets, 2 lab reports, a presentation for an honors thesis, and an application for internship. Whew. Okay. But it is important to set aside all that for tonight and pause and reflect on your accomplishments for the year. As a wise soul once said, life moves pretty fast. If you don't... As a wise soul once said, life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you can miss it. Anyone? Anyone? Thank you. So did anybody realize how old Ferris Bueller is now? He's 54. And for many of you, he's old enough to be your dad. But he was right. It's important to take stock of what we've done, where we are, and take a moment to acknowledge what we've accomplished. So tonight's the night to stop and look around. Tonight's the night we don't want to miss. Tonight's the night, one of my favorite events on campus. It's a time to relax. It's a time to celebrate the job well done. And we as faculty are very proud of you and your accomplishments. We've seen many pieces of evidence of your strength around campus, the pursuit of excellence in academics and scholarships, the drive to achieve your goals, and the spirit of community. So before we begin, I have 2 things to say. One is, feel free to take pictures if you want, if one of your family or friends is having an award, feel free to come up and take pictures. Also in the back of your program, there are all those bullets and funny characters and stars that describe various different aspects of the student's performance, grade point average, veteran status, honors program, all those things. So take a moment to look through the program. The other thing is I was told that I have to make a joke. So one of my English faculty friends said that he had an essay written by a student, and it was a curious thing. It only used 25 of the letters. And I asked what was going on, and the professor, Dr. LaShawn, said, well, I have my theories, but they don't know why. Thank you. To begin tonight's award presentations, I'd like to welcome to the stage Drs. Lita Camacho-Portero and Dr. Chris Musselman to present the Foreign Language Awards.
Buenas noches.
Buenas noches.
Okay. The World Languages Award was created by the Foreign Language Faculty of The Ohio State University at Marion in order to recognize students who have demonstrated outstanding ability in languages other than English. Students who have enrolled in on-campus language courses are chosen for this award based on their academic performance, grade point average, and participation in extracurricular activities related to the learning of a foreign language and culture. This award is funded through the Ohio State University at Marion Babbage Honors Fund, which recognizes the generosity of the late Robert and Marilyn Babbage, in whose names the scholarship fund was established. The recipient in each language will receive a $100 award applied to this semester's tuition. During the 2022-2023 academic year, American Sign Language and Spanish were taught at the Marion campus.
The winners should come to the stage when their names are announced. This year, the nominees are, in American Sign Language, Lane Scott Laflamme, Peyton Messi, Thomas Eugene Moore. In Spanish, Sasha Kertipati, Elizabeth Pacias, y Mallory Solta. And the winners are, in American Sign Language, Peyton Messi. And in Spanish, the winners are Elizabeth Pacias. And Asha Kertika. Who is going to present the Digital Media Composition Award.
All right, thank you. So yes, the Digital Media Composition Award. This is an award given annually as a campus-wide award, and it's meant to kind of formalize what this campus has been doing for a number of years, even before I arrived here, which is promote interesting, creative, digitally born projects. So the OSU Marion Digital Media Composition Award is presented annually to the single best instance of what student-produced digital composition from the Marion campus. Submissions are produced as part of coursework in a particular class or produced independent of coursework. Examples of submissions include, but are not limited to, flash animation, they don't do that anymore, visual compositions or audio compositions, short videos, digital literacy biographies or narratives, websites or blogs, etc. Works produced either alone or collaboratively are considered for this award, and this year's winners receive a $100 prize. So, we have a winner this year. It was a competitive race. I believe there were about 8 different submissions, nominations, and we shipped those off to a panel of 2 judges unaffiliated with the campus, and they had remarks to pass along, and so I'll read them. So one judge remarked that this was a well-integrated production that deftly mixed verbal performance, sound effects, and music into a genuinely witty and believable fake podcast. Another described it as, quote, a complete and dynamic piece, complementing the team's deadpan delivery style and how well it nodded to real-world examples of the genre. My Favorite Murder, Ghost Hunters, and so on. So if you haven't figured out, this is a podcast segment, and pretend one. It actually came out of my class, so yay me. I take a little credit. It's for a hypothetical podcast segment called Eerie Eerie, and the 2 students responsible for producing this are Carly Marlett and Hayden Smith. And now that Hayden's coming up, congratulations, by the way, I want to embarrass you for a second by playing a short excerpt from the piece.
Stay right there.
Did you miss us? We're back! I'm Carly. I'm Hayden. And this is Eerie Eerie! Carly, it has been too long. It's only been a week. It's been too long. That's too long. And a week without you is like
It's
a year
terrible.
without rain.
I'm just sunshine and lollipops.
Did Selena Gomez copyright A Year Without Rain? Please don't sue us.
Did she?
I hope not.
I hope not.
If you heard a bleep just then you know she did in fact copyright it. Okay, just so you know. It was not us. Good to know. Good to know. Good to know.
Last week we spent the night at the Park Hotel in Put in Bay. And what'd you think?
Terrifying.
Terrifying.
I mean, you slept with a ghost. Yeah, I thought it was you. I thought we shared a bed. And then I wake up and there's nobody next to me. I was like, oh my God, what is happening right now? And I came out there and we were sitting there. I was like, watch the episode. We're not going to spoil it for you. Right, spooky. There was a dip in the bed and it wasn't Hayden. Just saying. It was not me. Even creepier still is the topic of discussion for this week. The Ohio State Reformatory.
All right, and we'll stop there. What I typically do with the winner of this award is I publish it in the online supplement to the Cornfield Review, which is our long-standing literary publication. And so that'll probably be published sometime later this summer. So you'll be able to hear the episode in its entirety. So congrats to Carly and Hayden, and I think maybe I'll give them one more round of applause. And at this point, this book here is telling me to introduce my colleague Stuart LaShawn and also to stay up here, so I will do that.
Good evening. It is my honor to announce the winners of the 2023 OSU Marion Creative Writing Awards. Good writing flourishes here on the Marion campus in a host of disciplines. The following awards to represent some of the best of it. For the OSU Creative Writing Award, the judge is a published writer not affiliated with OSU Marion. He has selected 2 winners. Each will receive $100. In poetry, the which we call the Lyric Prize. The winner is Alex Harris for his poem, As I Lay Dying. Let me excerpt some of what the judge has written. We think, as I do, that poetry by its nature is an odyssey toward and in search of capital T, truth, and a stripping away of anything extraneous or insincere that may undercut it. As I lay dying, is a stark realization that reveals the truth of our moment in a subtle, startling, innovative, and impactful way. In prose, our narrative prize, the judge has selected Donovan, aka John L. Alba, for his untitled short story about a cowboy named Old Cougar and his horse Dan, who get caught in a blizzard on their journey home from a cattle drive. The judge concludes his comments about this story as follows. The thing that sets this story apart, the thing that will resonate even if you know nothing of cowboys, is that it describes emotional and existential journeys as well. Stark and brute though it is, Old Cougar's and Dan's ramble ultimately feels rhapsodic. The writing is alive and often spellbinding. The narrative nary takes a false step. Congratulations, Alex and John, for your time. It is also my honor to award the Honors of Book Awards, which is presented to outstanding students who have participated in honors program courses. And the winners this year are Alex Harris for in English, my class, English 4591-01H, Special Topics in Creative Writing. Your writing was so spectacular and speculative fiction that we are awarding you the Broken Earth Trilogy by M.K. Jameson. Great speculative fiction works of our time. Alex, you also were awarded the for English 2201H Selected Works of British Literature. Professor Nathan Wallace selected The Riverside Milton by somebody named John Milton. By Roy Flanagan. So you get a number of works there. And John, for our class, English 4591-01H, you're working on this wonderful novel that partly takes place in World War I. I selected a book called In Parentheses by David Jones. It's one of the most searing works about World War I that I know of. Congratulations. It is my honor to It is my honor to introduce my good friend and colleague, Lucia.
Good evening, everyone. It is my honor to announce the Babich Writing Award this evening. Each year, campus faculty selects one or two students who demonstrate excellence in writing to receive the Babich Writing Award. This year's award is the best paper written by a freshman or a sophomore. The winner of this award receives $250, which is applied towards this semester's tuition. This award is sponsored by the Babich Fund, which recognizes the generosity of the late Robert and Merlin Babich, in whose names the scholarship fund was established. I would like to add some comments about this winner. Not only in the writing course, the student has done an excellent job in the engineering courses as well. The winner of this year's Babich Award is Lane Grody for English 1110-02, first year honors English composition course taught by Dr. Stuart Lishan. to invite John Genoa to announce the Hamilton History Award.
Good evening. It's a pleasure to be back here. It's my first time back live, non-digitally, in 4 years. Made it at least to some kind of an other side. I'm very pleased this evening to present the Oliver E. Hamilton History Awards. We award 3 of them, 2 for writing and 1 for overall history major. And I am going to up the ante on Ben because all 3 of the winners are my students. So, you know, there's a certain level and then there's a higher level. So our first winner for the lower level history course writing, this is the best essay in a lower level history course, 2000 level history course. This year's winner is Elena K. Boger for the violence of colonialism in my History of Modern Africa course, 1800 to the 1960s. Winner for the best paper in an upper level history course, which is 3,000 and 4,000, usually senior and junior level, is Elizabeth Marie Passes for the impact of the Tet Offensive on the surrounding world in my Vietnam War class. We have the Oliver Hamilton History Award, which is awarded to the junior or senior history major with the highest grade point average. Beyond that, it's also an assessment of someone whose work in history courses over their academic career has been deemed outstanding and stood out from the crowd. So the winner receives $750, and the winner this year is Dallas Lauren White. Dinner is on Dallas tonight. It is my pleasure now to introduce my colleague Linda Parsons, who will present the Mitchell Education Scholarship.
The Mitchell Education Scholarship was first established in 2017. The Dan and Mildred Mitchell Education Endowed Scholarship Fund provides awards for education members attending the Ohio State University at Marion. Recipients must be of sophomore rank or above and show particular promise as future teachers. Awarded during the student teaching semester, this scholarship covers education program expenses during that student teaching experience. The amount of the award varies depending upon funds and the number of scholarships that are awarded. The recipients are selected by the education faculty and staff through the generosity of Ohio State alumni Dr. Heidi R. Reese and Mr. Michael J. Reese. Even though this award has been around for several years, this is the first time it is being honored and formally awarded at this program. Previous recipients are listed in your program. For this year's recipient, with a 4.0 GPA, this year's recipient stated in her scholarship application, "My academic performance and experiences in the field, continued involvement in my community speak to my strong potential and promise as a future teacher. The review committee could not have agreed more." This year's recipient developed this is a quote, "a love for service and helping people at a very young age, and has demonstrated her commitment to teaching and to young people through serving as a camp counselor, substitute teaching, mentoring younger 4-H exhibitors at the fair, and currently serving on the Marion County 4-H Advisory Board." One of her field supervisors stated, "Kelsey, spoiler, has a great understanding of people and will excel as an educator working with students, colleagues, parents, administrators, and the community." So it is my great pleasure to present the Dan and Mildred Mitchell Education Endowed Scholarship for Autumn 2023 Student Teaching to Kelsey Colleen Stuyvesant. I would like to turn over to Dr. Paxson for the next award. And as I leave the podium, I would like to wish all our Muslim students and your families Eid Mubarak.
Good evening. I'm very happy to be here this evening. It's also my first time back in person. I'm especially grateful today. I was in Chicago this morning at a conference. Had a terrible bout of insomnia, so I decided to go to the airport early to see if I could catch the earlier flight out. And then we ended up sitting on the tarmac because of a mechanical issue longer than the flight. So I'm just very grateful to be off that plane and here with all of you. So that's why I was not here for the graduation ceremony earlier, but I'm really looking forward to meeting with the students afterwards. So I'm here to present the awards in psychology. Psychology is one of the four-year programs on our campus, one of the largest programs on our campus, and we have a lot of fabulous students. And I am so excited to award some of them. I have to say this year the faculty had a really difficult time selecting students for these awards. We had many students who qualified for all of the categories, and we fought it out like we usually do, and Dadis lost, so make sure you all let him know. He's not here to argue with me, so I've got the microphone. All right. So the first award is given to a student who did research in a faculty mentored setting. The student we are giving the award to is a student who worked in my lab. You can see her, her work in the program. She presented this year, went to a conference this year with her colleague Molly Quinn, but also helped train new students in the lab and sort of kept things running. So Stephanie Carrick. For a student who did research in a classroom, in a psych classroom setting. And the student, again, we had lots of really fabulous nominations, but the student we're giving it to did a project for Dr. Sawicki's Psych 2367 course entitled, I just wrote down project on implicit bias. It was implicit bias about women. We were just blown away at its thoroughness and sophistication and really the impact of this project. So I'd like to congratulate Sydney Harris. The last award we are giving out is the Hannah Russell Community Impact Award. This is an award that recognizes one student who is engaged in community outreach, and it's given in memory of Hannah Russell, class of 2014, whose passion was social justice. So psych majors or minors involved in community service in either a volunteer, internship, or service learning capacity are eligible. The student we're giving this award to, I think, did community service in all of these categories, as well as fabulous research. So she, this year, she did an internship with the Alliance for Weight Inclusive Health. This was an internship that Dr. Tilka became aware of, and she immediately nominated Molly, and the internship advisor was so impressed and sent just this glowing letter of appreciation and thanks to Dr. Tilka and asked, please, please, please send me more of your students. You have amazing students. So she's making pathways for additional students. But in addition to that, she also was mentoring children in the Marion community. She was a PALS mentor at one point, but then started doing that on her own after her PALS service. She's also one of the project managers of the service learning course that I'm running. So if you are on the Marion Tallgrass Trail in the next couple of weeks, you'll see the project that my class did there. I can't stop talking. And the last thing, the last impact that she had is helping to revive the psychology club after a COVID shutdown. The psychology club, under her leadership, became very active and brought a number of amazing speakers to our campus this year. So I am so pleased to give the award to Molly Quinn.
So I am here to introduce the person who is going to introduce the winner of the next award. So presenting this year's Ralph Howard Service Award is Marion's Advisory Board member, Roger George. If you want to start making your way up here, I'll embarrass you by reading this whole script about you. Yeah, sure. Robert began his collegiate career in this building in the fall of 1968. At the newly opened Morrill Hall. He received his Bachelor of Science in Education, graduating cum laude, and Master of Arts, graduating summa cum laude from The Ohio State University. After receiving his bachelor's degree, he returned to Marion and began teaching. His teaching career as a science teacher at Edison Middle School. He then became principal at only Middle School, or Elementary, and Pearl Street Elementary, followed by business manager and assistant superintendent for Marion City Schools. And he also served as interim superintendent. After retiring with 40 years of service to the students, faculty, and staff at the Marion City Schools and the Marion community, Roger became the principal of the Marie English Childhood Center in Marion from 2013 to 2015. And he's been on the OSU Marion Advisory Board as the alumni representative since 2016 and is currently the vice chair. He was also recently inducted into the Ohio State Marion Hall of Fame for his outstanding service and professional contributions to the Marion community. So I'd like to welcome Roger George to announce the winner of the Ralph Howard Service Award.
Thank you. Every time I come in here and get up here, it takes me back 55 years because this building, as John said, was brand new in the fall of 1968, and we were the first 200 students to walk in this room. And I remember sitting right out here filling out my paperwork on these chairs. I think the chairs are different now. But, you know, and I've said this all along to many people. I've had a lot of education in my time, but my 2 years spent here on this campus was the best I ever had. I really enjoyed it. The Ralph Howard Service Award recognizes the lifelong contributions to academic excellence at Ohio State Marion by Mr. Ralph Howard and Mrs. Joanne Howard Hoffman. And this award this year is being presented to Matt Carberry. Matt, I'll have you come up in just a minute. Matt is from the Marion Area Chamber of Commerce. He was nominated for this award by Kathy Gerber, who is Director of Development and Community Relations at OSU Marion. And on the nomination form, Kathy wrote, "I nominate Matt Carberry for the Ralph Howard Service Award for being an outstanding Ohio State Marion ambassador in the Marion community. Matt recognizes the asset of Ohio State Marion in many community initiatives and serves as a cheerleader for Ohio State's many contributions in academic programs and community collaboration. Matt has repeatedly connected community leaders with campus initiatives and program information to further the land-grant mission of this university. Specifically, Matt has helped connect our local manufacturers with the campus and the development of the Bachelor of Science in Engineering Technology degree and served on the Engineering Partnership Board for this program. He has also been instrumental in helping to implement the Marion Microfarm project in the Marion community and has served on the Marion Microfarm Task Force team since its inception. Matt is a wonderful friend of the Marion campus, and we are grateful for this service and commitment to furthering educational opportunities and development in our community. Matt's nomination was approved by our advisory board last Thursday, April 13th, at our monthly board meeting. Congratulations, Matt, and please come forward. He's going to say a few words, too.
I won't be long, but thank you, Roger, thank you, Kathy, thank you for the nomination and the selection committee. First of all, congratulations again to all of tonight's award winners. As former president of the Marion Area Chamber and in my new position at Sims, I just would like to first say to all of you, the students here, please consider keeping your amazing talents here. Trust me, there is so many positions available here locally. Your talents are absolutely needed. This community is getting better every day, and it has so much to offer. So I certainly hope you consider bringing that talent back to Marion. If you leave and if you stay here, awesome. I am a transplant to Marion, and it's my home now, and is doing incredible things, and we need you. Again, thank you so much. This is an honor I was not expecting. Thank you to the selection committee. Having grown up in Michigan and attending Michigan State University, I've always been a big supporter of Big Ten universities, except one, of course. But I always saw, more than other colleges, the Ohio State University as a kindred spirit, if nothing else, due to our shared feelings towards another school. And because of how well I was treated by fans, faculty, and staff traveling down to the SHU as a member of MSU's marching band. OSU was a class act, and when I eventually landed in Marion for my professional career, that reputation got me very excited, assuming
OSU Marion would have the same helpful spirit. Having now worked with OSUM staff for 12 plus years now, and especially in the roles I've been lucky enough to hold, I can clearly see what an incredible job this campus under Dean Rose's leadership has done and is doing to meet the moment and be the invaluable gem we need it to be to help our community rise above and set us apart in preparing students to be successful and build the workforce we so desperately need. Actually, my first love was environmental engineering, coming within one semester of graduating with that degree before an AmeriCorps experience over the summer changed that path to the Master's in Public Policy that led me to where I am today. That experience and the associated educational debt made me also appreciate the importance of satellite campuses, which is something I wish I had been given the opportunity to take advantage of, a quality one. So when I heard about the new engineering technology degree, which incorporates real-world experience and practical curriculum, I got very excited for those future students and couldn't wait to help spread the news to every local manufacturing partner here in town. That and the Marion Microfarm Project are just two examples of so many OSUM initiatives that I've been proud to help collaborate and promote. Thank you again to the selection committee. This is even more special and humbling to me knowing that I joined my father and mother-in-laws, Gary and Diana Sims, who are recipients of this Ralph Howard Service Award in 2014. It means a great deal to be in the same company as two of the most generous, community-driven people I've ever known. So thank you very much again.
Thank you, Matt, and thank you, Roger. I'd now like to invite Dr. Goldbeerzai to the podium to present the engineering awards.
Good evening, everyone. It's my honor to present William K. Davis Engineering Award tonight. The William K. Davis Engineering Award recognizes up to 3 students pursuing a degree in engineering and begin their college career at Ohio State Marion. Award recipients must be admitted to the College of Engineering having completed all required prerequisites. Winners are selected by Ohio State Marion engineering faculty based on a combination of criteria: exceptional character, promise in the field of engineering, and grade point average. Thanks to the generosity of Mr. Ron Kramer, each award recipient will receive $1,000 towards tuition fee for the current term of enrollment. My colleagues and I looked carefully at the records of students who meet the award criteria. This year, we have selected 3 students to receive this award. Awardees, please come to the stage as I announce your names. Alejandro Romeo Cabancal. I would like to welcome my colleague, Dr. Eric Monter, to present Earth Science Award.
The Ohio State Marion Earth Science Award annually recognizes one student who has completed 2 of the following courses during the current academic year and who has shown exceptional aptitude and work ethic. The eligible courses are Geology of the National Parks, Natural Hazards, Dynamic Earth, and Earth Through Time. Candidates may be enrolled in any program at the Ohio State University at Marion, and the recipient of this award is selected by the Marion Earth Sciences faculty. The nominees for this award are Madison Decker, Grace Galley, and Adam Ward. The 2022 Earth Sciences Award is presented to the student who not only performed with excellence in their Earth Science coursework, but who also, somewhat insanely, took every single Earth Science course offered at OSU Marion this year. Keep in mind, I'm the only person that teaches, so this person is nuts. So it's my honor to present this award to Grace Galley. Join me in welcoming Dr. Jonathan Pallett.
Good evening, everyone. The Ohio State Marion Biological Science Award annually recognizes one outstanding junior or senior biology major currently enrolled at the Marion campus. The award recipient must demonstrate strong academic credentials, attaining at least a 3.5 grade point average, evidence of out-of-class learning and research experience in biology or other related fields, and evidence of outreach and community engagement in biology or related fields. The winner, chosen by the Marion Campus Biological Sciences faculty, receives $200 towards a semester of enrollment made possible by the Marion STEM Scholarship Fund. The nominees for the Biological Science Awards are, please stand as I read your name, Larissa Ann Blanchard, Corey James Bozart, Nikita Christian, Maria Isabel Ruano, Claire Aiden Ruff, Elijah Javon Keith Watson, and Michaela Lee Reitzel. This year's winner of the Biological Sciences Award is someone I admire greatly, someone whose work in class and in the lab is truly impressive, especially as he maintains so many other responsibilities. Congratulations, Nikita Christian. It's now my pleasure to introduce my colleagues, Dr. Rene Boulet and Dr. Francis Sivakov, to present the next award.
All right, so it is my pleasure to award the Andy Vick and Charles River Award for Biology and Chemistry Research. So this is an award that recognizes student excellence in research as well as scholarship and service to the Ohio State University at Marion campus. Each year, 2 students are granted this $1,000 award through the Marion STEM Scholarship Fund. Recipients must be a full-time Marion student and have a 3.0 minimum grade point average. Eligible students have completed at least 2 semesters or more of research with a biology or chemistry faculty member. Students are also required to present their research at the annual research symposium. So our first recipient is one of my students, and she's been doing research with me for approximately 2 years. I've also had her in class, and I know her pretty well personally as she's dog sat for me and used to work at the kennel. So, and she actually presented her research pretty recently at the American Chemical Society conference in Indianapolis, which was a great experience. So with that, I would like to award the first one to Michaela Breitzel.
Good evening. I'm privileged to present our second Andy Vick Award recipient to my student, Twy Gray. Twy is a life science education major who has worked in my lab for about a year. I met Twy as a student in my biology for non-majors class, where she differentiated themselves for their stellar grades, great questions, and active participation. Twy then joined my lab last summer to work on a project on bumblebee health, and immediately got involved with all aspects of the project, from weighing microcolonies of bumblebees to collecting bee poop with vigor. Twy also jumps at every opportunity to gain experience and opportunities, and as such, they'll be participating in a prestigious summer program. I look forward to continuing to work with Twy, and I am pleased to announce that the recipient of the Andy Vick and Charles River Laboratories Award for Biology and Chemistry Research goes to Twy Light Gray. To present the OSU Marion Chemistry Award.
Good evening, everyone. It's my honor and privilege to present the Ohio State Marion Chemistry Award, presented to an outstanding chemistry student currently enrolled at the Marion campus. And you can read about the rest of the stuff in there that we used to pick the award winner. Usually I like to start this award with a chemistry joke, but I ran out of those, so I'm going to tell you a riddle instead. So the riddle goes, where is the only place you find today before yesterday? The dictionary is right. Good job. This is a smart group. I was counting on more pause time for that. So, as it turns out, there's even more jokes about dictionaries than there are about chemistry. So, the other day I learned what the longest word in the dictionary is. It's smiles, because there's a mile between the first letter. I didn't say they were any better than the chemistry jokes. There were a lot of them. But the reason I tell you a riddle is because the recipient for our chemistry award first came to my attention by posing me riddles after class, and they were not related at all to chemistry. They started out pretty easy, and then they got harder and harder. So he would come to my office after class, pose me a riddle, and I would say, oh, no, I don't have an answer for that. He'd leave, and I would do what any self-respecting PhD chemist would do. I went to Google and found the answer, so when he came back, I had it for him, and I appeared as smart as I wanted to appear to. But in all seriousness, the recipient of this award certainly is more well known for his achievement in all of our chemistry courses at The Ohio State University at Marion. He is also doing research with Dr. Boley in biochemistry. He's been our top student in organic chemistry throughout the semester, and we are certainly can't wait to see the great things that he continues to contribute to this campus. So the winner of the chemistry award this year is Ali Quincy. Ali could not be here tonight due to the celebration of Eid, so I think we are accepting this award on his behalf. what they do at the fancy award. So without any further ado, I will turn things back over to our host with the most, Dr. John Mahoney, for the next award.
Thank you, Dr. Yoder. So it's now my privilege to award the William K. Davis Honors Scholarship. One of my roles on campus is to be the director of the honors program, and so I was excited to work with all the honors students and look through all the applications for and the eligible students for this honors scholarship. Which obviously, I should start reading my notes. It recognizes members of the Ohio State Marian Undergraduate Honors Program, and they're honored for their exceptional academic work, motivation, to accept opportunities that significantly enhance the quality of their education through undergraduate research and other academic experiences. Students considered for this award demonstrate engagement in challenging coursework, participate in academic programs with breadth and depth, and interact with professors and students at a highly intellectual level. Thanks again to the generosity of Ron Kramer. A scholarship, $1,500, is awarded to this recipient. So, I first met the winner of this year's William K. Davis Honors Scholarship at a math competition on this stage where I was handing out awards for high schoolers back in 2016. At the time, they were a 9th grader at Elgin, and they got 3rd place in the competition. And fast forward a few years later, they were in the honors research seminar as a freshman on campus, and each student was to interview a faculty member, I assumed on campus, to talk about research opportunities. However, this student arranged to interview their neuroscience professor on the Columbus campus instead. And from that, I knew that they were ambitious, and I knew I would expect great things from them. They've applied for this honors scholarship for 3 years now, with more and more impressive honors credentials and academic credentials. Each time, however, the award went to a senior student who had had more time to build their honors repertoire. And I knew the day would eventually come for this student. So this year, they were selected for their scholarship based on the breadth of the honors courses they've taken on our campus and Columbus campus, online, in every manner. The academic experiences they've reached for outside of the classroom, leadership roles they've taken on campus, letters of recommendation came from people they didn't even ask to submit them. People just said, have you thought about this person? And so I am very pleased to be able to present the William K. Davis Honors Scholarship for 2023 to Mac Yake. I'd now like to call to the podium Dr. Katie Braun to present the Marian Campus Teaching Awards.
Well, we obviously have a whole lot of wonderful, very highly talented and highly achieving students. And students are far more likely to achieve at such a high level and reach their potential with the support of dedicated and exceptional professors. So this is a moment that we pat ourselves on the back a little bit. Thus, as we celebrate excellence in the academic achievements of our students, we also celebrate excellence in teaching among our faculty. The Marian Campus Teaching Excellence Award recognizes faculty who challenge students to articulate connections between their coursework and their lives outside of the classroom, who foster high-level critical and analytical thinking skills, who create inclusive and equitable cultures of learning for students, and who develop strong mentoring relationships with students, encouraging students to reach their full potential. During this academic year, students and faculty were encouraged to nominate faculty members they felt worthy of recognition. The award selection committee, which I chaired, was then charged with choosing the recipients of 2 awards. One from the associated faculty rank, whose primary responsibility at OSU Marian is teaching, and one from the regular faculty rank, whose work includes research and service in addition to teaching. In both categories, the evidence of teaching excellence shared with the committee was outstanding. we looked at portfolios of teaching materials, peer review letters, and student evaluations, of course. In the associated faculty category, we actually have a tie. Our first recipient teaches biology. In support letters, colleagues praised her classroom practices, particularly her blending of multiple modes, such as lecture, class discussion, and collaborative application activities. One wrote that our recipient is, quote, a model teacher. He praised her scaffolding of assignments to effectively structure and support student learning. He also praised her ability to link students on-the-spot questions and observations to real-world scenarios and clinical applications. One student wrote, quote, the course was structured really well, interactive and fun, end quote. Another observed that she, quote, does an excellent job in every aspect involved with teaching and preparing students, end quote. Many, many students wrote on course evaluations that she is highly recommended as a teacher. It's my honor to congratulate Dr. Melissa Petreka. Who unfortunately cannot be here tonight, but we recognize her anyway. It is unusual that we have a tie for this award. In fact, I think this is a first. But we had two portfolios that rose to the top this year, and it seemed appropriate to recognize both. Our second recipient teaches English. This instructor, in the words of another English faculty member, has a long and storied reputation as a particularly fine teacher on our campus. The student who nominated him wrote that he, quote, always cared more about the students than the material, was invested in what we put our time into outside the classroom, end quote. This care and mentorship beyond classroom walls was a theme throughout this teacher's materials and is intentional. The past few years have been difficult for everyone, but especially for students, and this teacher not only recognizes those struggles, but actively works to help students feel tethered to campus and to each other, which enriches their intellectual experience in untold ways. A few of the things he has done include forming a book club, taking students to see live performances of plays, a new experience for many, and then talking about what they've seen over ice cream. Students often enter required writing classes with either trepidation or a desire to avoid it altogether. But this instructor not only helps them enjoy it, he also puts them through writing boot camp, which serves them well in the rest of their courses, most of which require some kind of writing. Here's what a few students had to say about his methods, and they're all quotations from different students. We have quite a bit of work, but I think it will help us in the future with other schoolwork and later when we have jobs. The class itself was a lot of reading, but in a good way. The one thing I enjoyed the most about this class is that it helped me understand how writing is in real life. And I was really nervous at first, and honestly, I did not expect that this class was going to be interesting, but I'm glad I stuck to it. I know now that I couldn't have asked for a better English class. Congratulations to my colleague, Dr. Pintelli. Not once but twice by two different students. The first praised his content knowledge and classroom methods, while the second wrote, he, quote, creates a classroom environment that is welcoming and respectful. His expertise of the topics he instructs permits him to improve his teaching methods to optimize the student's ability to recall past concepts. Most importantly, he encourages students to do critical thinking while providing a safe environment for correct or incorrect responses, end quote. In written course evaluations, students consistently commented that they were challenged, had to think and work hard in his class, and had to learn to think independently. This professor is dedicated to constantly assessing and adjusting his pedagogy based on best practices and implements many innovative ways to teach, including various assessment tools, ways to challenge students and deepen their knowledge, ways to provide formal and informal feedback on their learning, ways to develop self-reflections on their own learning, and how to engage students in class. Additionally, he employs inquiry-based pedagogy that has led to collaborative research with students, preparing them for research futures, whether in the academy or industry. Finally, he approaches the whole student in the classroom by thinking not only about their learning of scientific concepts, but also about how those concepts diffuse into other areas of their lives. In short, his pedagogy is active and engaging, and he is incredibly successful at implementing it. Congratulations to Dr. Jonathan Gillette. All right, and now I am to introduce John Meharry and Sue Oakes to present the Undergraduate Research Award.
So we are presenting, we're going to have to tag team this. So we are presenting 3 different categories of awards recognizing undergraduate research that's going on our campus. First is the Denman Forum, which is a research colloquium held on the Columbus campus, which was held earlier this spring, and 3 of our students participated in the Richard J. and Martha D. Denman Undergraduate Research Forum, an annual event on the Columbus campus that provides an opportunity to showcase significant contributions of talented Ohio State undergraduates. Each year, hundreds of undergraduate researchers from across the university show off their studies with student projects seeking to solve a gamut of problems from cancer to energy crises to discrimination. We're proud of these 2 students who have presented their research, and they represented the Marion campus at the 28th Annual Denman Undergraduate Research Forum, March 7th, 2023. They are Lauren Elizabeth Frank, and please come to the stage as we call your name, and I'm going to read something about you, and we get a certificate. Is Lauren here? No. Okay. That's why she wasn't obeying the instructions. Her research was on determining how to chromatin remodeling proteins modulate RAD52 function. Her advisor was Dr. Renee Booley of biochemistry.
Our second Denman Scholar this year is Zane Thomas Nelson. Please come forward.
Zane was here earlier. Where did he
I
go?
saw him
He
too.
had to leave.
His work, understanding protein-protein interactions with HIRA, chromosome remodeling protein. Again, the advisor for this work is Dr. Renee Booley, biology and biochemistry.
The third student that we had representing the research at the Denman is a psychology student, Molly Quinn. The title of her presentation was Exploring an Embodiment Model of Intuitive Eating and Attunement with Exercise, the Mediating Role of Intrinsic Motivation. Her advisor was Dr. Tracy Tilka.
This next section is the Senior Honors Thesis Award. We're pleased to recognize the students on campus who are engaged in research with faculty members. Last week, we hosted our annual undergraduate research program. Research projects originate from undergraduate coursework in any discipline at any academic level and occur through formal research mentoring by faculty members. The Senior Honors Thesis and the undergraduate research program provide a forum for students, faculty, and the Marion community as well to discuss cutting-edge research topics and to examine the connections between research, education, and the broader community. For some students, this work will culminate in a senior thesis defended in front of a faculty committee. In addition, some students will complete all the requirements for an honors thesis. Tonight, we will recognize the students who've earned these honors. They will graduate with a research distinction on their diploma on May 7th. 3 of these students were also involved in the Denman Forum. The first of these, Laura Elizabeth Frank. The second, Zane Thomas Nelson. And the third, as you just heard, Molly Marie Quinn. The other 2 students finishing up their senior theses are
Maddie Ball in evolution and ecology. Maddie, are you coming down? Madeline works with Dr. Jonathan Flood, the ecology and evolution of plant course in geological.
And the last awardee in this category, the award goes to Sarah Nicole Holbrook. Unfortunately not able to be here today. Sarah's work is entitled From Court to Circus, the Evolution of the Dwarf as Performer. Research conducted under the guidance of Dr. Sarah Crosby in English.
And finally, we want to recognize the students who are participating in the undergraduate research colloquium. The colloquium consists of a poster session where students can display and discuss their project along with answering questions from, about the research from people attending the colloquium. They can originate from any undergraduate coursework in any discipline mentored by a faculty member. This year's event was on Thursday, April 13th, and included students from disciplines including psychology, evolutionary biology, mechanical engineering, machine learning, biochemistry, as well as student experiences with service learning through STEP and the PALS programs on our campus. I'm not going to read all the names or all the names of the presentations because that would be a while, but all the names are listed in your program, including their faculty mentors, I believe, and the names of their students, or names of their programs. Will these students who participated in this year's colloquium please stand to be recognized? And now we'd like to introduce Dr. Mariana Klachko from Sociology to present the first of the Undergraduate Academic Excellence Awards.
Thank you. Good evening. How are we all doing today? Good. Good. Still awake? I have about 25 pages, so, and I was told to read them really slowly and carefully. So I'm here to talk about undergraduate academic excellence awards that are typically presented to freshmen, sophomore, junior, and senior students recognized as outstanding by virtue of combined achievements in scholarships, leadership, and service to the Ohio State University at Marion. Those awards are made possible through the Hubbard Honors Fund and the Bubbage Honors Fund. Students eligible for this award are among the strongest academically, but they also demonstrate positive qualities that extend beyond the classroom. They take advantage of opportunities to work, volunteer, study abroad, and participate in research, and they also maintain the highest GPAs for the students. My colleague, Jan Lang, from the mathematics department, and I served on the selection committee for undergraduate academic excellence awards. We were tasked with the difficult decision of selecting winners in the freshman, sophomore, and junior categories. The winners will be called to the stage to receive a plaque along with a $1,000 scholarship that will be applied to their current semester's tuition. Pretty impressive. In making our decision, we were looking for determination, perseverance, and aspiration manifested by the applicants. Additionally, the winners in each category were characterized by their willingness to engage in intellectually challenging activities, demonstrating academic curiosity, grit in overcoming the challenges on their pathways, desire to learn, as well as multifaceted college experience, both in and out of classroom. So first, freshmen, please stand as I read your names and remain standing. The nominees are Elena Boger, Ty Bolt, Ethan Farrar, Lucas Hoffman, Arthif Joshi, Kirsten Lippi, and Andrew Powell. freshman category, we selected Elena K. Boger. Who is logistics management major, captain of on-campus soccer team, and she also volunteers during summers as a camp counselor for Show Choir Camps of America. Sophomore nominees, please stand as I read your names and remain standing. The nominees are Kennedy Altizer, Dwight Gray, Sydney Harris, Natalie Klensman, Becca Paul, Natalie Peak, and Mallory Saltar. For the sophomore category, this year's recipient is Sydney Roy Sue Harris. Sydney is a psychology major who engaged in research endeavors with Dr. Petreka and Dr. Dadis in cancer genetics and developmental psychology, respectively. One of her professors wrote that Sydney is deeply engaged in the course, is always willing to contribute meaningfully to the class conversations, and her peers benefit greatly from those contributions. She's also a member of psychology, social work clubs, part of PALS program where she's mentoring young girl at Ridgedale Elementary, and she was a member of 2022 Marian Homecoming Board. The last category that I'm presenting is a junior category. So junior nominees, please stand as I read your names and remain standing. And we have as nominees Stephanie Carrick, Jacob Redmond, Maria Ruano, Sarah Smith, and Madeline Swain. In the junior category, we selected Stephanie Renee Carrick. Who is also majoring in psychology, and she is also in the honor program. She's a research assistant for Dr. Patson's lab, where she's also mentoring other research assistants. And last November, she presented her research at the 63rd Annual Psychonomic Society Conference. She's also mentoring in the PALS program and an active participant in the psychology club. Our committee congratulates all the award recipients again and wishes them the best of luck in their future endeavors. So I think I'm supposed to reintroduce John Meharry to present the senior awards, and Donna Babitzer.
So I've been told that we had one of our award recipients was not able to be here this evening, but her husband is, and we are asking if he would want to come to the stage to accept the award on her behalf. Dr. William Petreka or Mr. Melissa Petreka. Refocus. So we are to continue the Undergraduate Excellence Awards. Donna and I were the, Professor Babitzer and I were the committee for the senior category. The senior students who met the high eligibility requirements and were nominated by faculty are listed in your program. The award recipients will receive a plaque and a $1,000 award towards this semester's tuition. I will read all of the names of the nominees. Please stand when your name is called and remain standing. Here are the nominees in the senior category. Darby Anderson. And they're seniors. Clap for them. Sarah Holbrook. Pinkley Ice. Haley Kingery, Molly Quinn, and Matt Yates.
And John and I have been doing this for a really long time, and I'm going to tell you that this was a group of seniors. It was just remarkable. We could have given these awards, honestly, to any of you. And that goes for all of the awards that we're going to announce. I think that's fair. Just a remarkable crop of seniors that we have. But we don't have $6,000, so we chose two winners, which I think was breaking the rules, but we did that much. So I'm going to announce the first. So a faculty member describes our first recipient as a remarkably bright, motivated, disciplined, and creative scholar. The ideal, really. She's also one of the most intellectually curious and sophisticated students I've ever taught. We see these traits in her undergraduate research thesis, which, as she explores the history of dwarfs in life and in literature. In addition, she's published her original work in multiple local venues and serves on the editorial board for Ohio State Marion's own Cornfield Review. An English major with a concentration in creative writing, our first recipient of the Undergraduate Academic Excellence Award in the senior category is Sarah Holbrook.
You can go ahead and sit down. Sorry. The second winner for tonight has already been on stage tonight. They're a psychology major and an honor student with a minor in neuroscience. They've been very active on campus in academic activities and student organizations. Buckeye Food Alliance, PALS mentoring program, co-president of Out Loud. They worked in Dr. Patson's psychology lab and COSI last summer. They, as part of the STEP program, they traveled to New Orleans to do a service learning project last summer as well. They're also earning the Diversity and Intercultural Community Engagement Certificate, which is a lot easier to just say it's the DICE certificate. They had excellent letters of recommendation from two faculty members, and I'm very pleased to announce that the second winner of the Undergraduate Excellence Award in the senior category is Mac Yeager.
The C. Eugene Maynard Academic Excellence Award is presented each year to the outstanding senior student who has completed a significant portion of their studies on the Marion campus and has attained a minimum cumulative grade point average of 3.5. This award is funded by Ohio State alumni and Ohio State Marion Honors Program. The recipient of this award receives an individual plaque and a $2,000 scholarship made possible by Ron Kramer that will be applied to their current semester's tuition. Their name will also be included on a perpetual plaque displayed on the Marion campus. Please stand when your name is called and remain standing while we read all the names. This year's Maynard Award nominees are Cheyenne Anderson, A.J. Bennett, Sarah Holbrook, Haley Kingery, Molly Quinn, and Michaela Yeh.
As Donna mentioned earlier, we were presented with all of the applications were really quality, really high quality, excellent applications with evidence of outstanding academic achievements. And it made for a very difficult decision. The student that we did select to receive the Maynard Award for 2023 is a student that's already been on stage a few times tonight. They're a psychology major with a perfect GPA. They completed a senior honors thesis, or senior thesis, not honors, senior thesis, with Dr. Tilka. They participated in the Denman and the local research forums. They were president of the psychology club. They interned at the Alliance for Weight Inclusive Health in an internship under Dr. Tilka. They were involved with the PALS mentoring program and are currently working for a nonprofit, the National Alliance on Mental Illness, as a youth adult counselor, talking about mental health topics. And she had enthusiastic letters of recommendation from faculty for this award. And it is my pleasure to announce that the 2023 C. Eugene Maynard Award for Academic Excellence is presented to Molly Quinn. So much like the Maynard Award is kind of for outstanding senior, the John Mount Academic Excellence Award is presented to outstanding senior who began his or her studies on the Marion campus but completed the majority of their studies on the Columbus campus. This award is funded by the Ohio State Marion Honors Program, and the recipient of this award receives a plaque, $2,000 cash award, and their name on a perpetual plaque displayed on the Marion campus out in the lobby outside of this room. The award is determined by the Faculty Honors Committee and is based on an application for the candidates, faculty recommendations, grade point averages, and student research. Here are the nominees. Please stand when your name is called if you're here. Stephanie Dawn Clem. Catherine Eldred. Catherine Lynn Jackson. Matthew Thomas McManaman. And Kira Perry.
You can all sit down. This year's recipient made the most of their time with us in Marion before campus changing to Columbus. A member of the university's honors program, he engaged in undergraduate research on machine learning and how to incorporate it into artificial neural networks. He also served as an undergraduate teaching assistant for a computer software programming course and tutored students in a variety of courses through our Academic Success Center. He went on to intern with the software engineering program at J.P. Morgan Chase. Described by a faculty member as an outstanding student in all respects, he will be graduating in a few weeks with a bachelor's degree in computer science and engineering. The 2023 recipient of the John T. Mount Award is Matthew McManaman.
That actually completes the list of our awards for this evening. So let's do a round of applause for all of the nominees and all of the winners. I did have a few other things that I wanted to announce for list of students that are listed in your program. We do need to acknowledge them. If you look at the back of your program, there's a long list of students who are eligible for the Dean's List. And I'll read something about that. To earn a spot on the Dean's List at the Ohio State University, a student must earn a term grade point average of at least 3.5 and at least 12 credit hours of graded work. Throughout summer and fall of 2022, more than 270 students were on the Marion Campus Dean's List. Your program lists those students who met the criteria during the summer and autumn semesters. Spring, we still don't trust that you're going to finish well, but I have faith in you. So if you're one of those students, please stand if you made the Dean's List this year. That's it. Thank you. Thank you very much. We also, as Dean Pandy said earlier, We had a ceremony this afternoon on this stage for the Associate of Arts degree recipients. And the Associate of Arts degree is available only on the regional campuses of The Ohio State University. And for many students, attainment of an associate's degree, it might be the halfway mark towards a bachelor's degree, or it might be the culmination of your college experience. And students are eligible for the AA degree once they've earned a minimum of 60 credit hours, and 33 of those need to be in specific course categories. Between summer and autumn of 2021, 76 students on the Marion campus have been awarded an Associate of Arts degree, and 77 more are candidates for the Associate of Arts this semester. Since its inception in 1980, the inception of the Associate of Arts degree, the Marion campus has awarded 4,250 Associate of Arts degrees. And these students, as I said, were celebrated earlier today in a special ceremony for all our degree candidates. But we wish to recognize their achievements tonight, so the names are listed in the program, and if anyone is in attendance, please stand so we can recognize you again. Finally, we also had a ceremony celebrating the bachelor's degree candidates. Again, we're trusting that you'll do well in finals, and actually, yeah, we'll just not go there. It's my pleasure to recognize those students who have received or will be receiving this semester their bachelor's degree and or teacher certificate, those who have already earned their degree or licensure this academic year, as well as the candidates for the current term are listed in your program. These students were recognized earlier today in a special ceremony, and they'll receive their diplomas at commencement on the Columbus campus on Sunday, May 7th. And we do wish to recognize their achievements here tonight. The names can also be found in the program, and I ask those students to stand and be recognized. So congratulations to all of our degree recipients, and congratulations to all of our excellent students tonight, and our community members. I don't want to leave you out. And faculty. Who else received it? Students, faculty, community members. Well done, everyone. It's been an exciting evening. So many activities, so many accomplishments celebrated tonight. It's always a joy. And so we're going to have a reception out in the lobby in a few minutes. I invite all of you to stay and take photographs and say hi, congratulate each other, and enjoy the reception. At this time, though, I invite all of you to stand, as is tradition, and join in the singing of Carmen, Ohio, the alma mater of The Ohio State University, as we are accompanied by the Ohio State Men's Glee Club. You'll find the lyrics on the back of your program, and thank you very much.